Hello, hello, and we are back. And this time we have brought you Dave Wiegand going up against no other than Bob Linn. Bob Linn is the sponsor of the new Two Collins sponsorships and happiness that lets people, shift to the Collins division, try it out for the first time in a very easy, light division. Bob Linn is an incredible player. I've gone up against him a few times at Maryland and DC area tournaments. Have you ever played him, Matt?
I've never played him, but I sat down and chatted with him at breakfast yesterday. Just wanted to pick his brain about, where did this idea to throw money at Scrabble, bring people out to tournaments again, try to make Scrabble bigger than it's been in the past. Yeah, he had some really cool things to say, but he said a big part of the reason he did the incentive, I'm not going to talk about his turn because he's going to play joked immediately. Big
Ooh,
part of
or
the,
juked.
oh, is
Jooked.
that good? Ooh,
That's
juked
really
is even
cool, doesn't it?
better. Ooh, if
Oh, sorry, yeah, you were saying,
yeah, he's seen it. Okay. He has a good friend, Cheryl Melvin, and he said, I feel bad sometimes because a lot of the people who switched to Collins did it to qualify for Worlds. Not everybody who switched to Collins did it to qualify for Worlds. And, it's a very top heavy group right now. So I want people to come out and just play some Collins games. So my friend Cheryl can have opposition a little bit closer to her. And I think it's a good idea. We need to build a Division Two of CSW players, and we've done that thanks to Bob's generosity here. Oh, he set down juked, chickened out of it in 5 points. Oof, gonna hold on to the W or hold on to the O here instead, but still 50 points, big opening for Bob Linn.
Very interesting. I feel like if he was going to hold on to that O, maybe Jowd here would have been better just because that KO has a slightly better synergy than the OW. But you know what? Joked is still a good play. It gets him, I think, 50 points. And now on to Wiegand to find his bingo. He's got a blank for his first rack. He's probably just going to go ahead and play something like Duelers through the D to the triple Duellers. Duelers, a great play here. Or maybe Mullard, Mullered to the D from the triple at the top.
Yeah, you can bingo down from the D or to the D. Either way, it's going to be 77 points. And again, Dave Wiegand, very good at Scrabble, bingoing on the first turn for the second consecutive game. We'll see if he can actually win this one.
I
The
actually
blank could be an F or a B. Let's get our team on the ground to clarify. And go ahead, Nits.
I actually really like that he's going ahead and he's playing one of either the F or the M versions of Ullard, blank Ullard, because putting the S out with duelers would have been a little bit more dangerous. I like what he's doing here tactically. I wonder if it's an F. I feel like that would be the best one, because it's not like ism bingos are gonna go there.
Bob Linn is challenging the play. If anybody plays something you're unfamiliar with, just throw the extra 5 at it. We'll see what the blank is for sure. Oh, it's an M.
Interesting.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, M, F, or B, all possibilities. Mullard the play from Dave and a +5 from Bob. 82 points on the first turn for Dave Wiegand in response to Bob's 50. And I bet Bob now is wishing he had played Jooked instead. But I'll behave myself. AAOOTW blank on the rack for Bob. We're gonna see oh whoa, I think.
Oh my gosh, are we? Are we? Are we?
What's this?
Oh man, that'd be so nice. Have we seen Owo on or Uwu on stream yet?
I don't think so. I got them both down in the same game, oh whoa, ooh woo. But now we're gonna get our first official oh whoa sighting of the Crescent City Cup. Or we're gonna see Tawa,
Or
perhaps.
we're I really hope we see Owo. Wait, actually, do we hope that we see Owo? Because like AA, really? I mean, I'm not feeling so super hot about that. But then again, Owo does play for 26 points. He seems to have spotted Woo, WOO, under J and O of joked. So that would be 21 points. Unless he goes with something like Awedo, like AWETO through the E of joked instead.
It just feels so natural to underlap the J and the K here. I think Bob's just trying to figure out what to do. Do I play Awa? Do I play Owo? I don't know that he spotted Owo. Um, this is new. He's looking at Tawa, keeping Owo blank.
Oh
What's
man.
this? Find it. Oh,
Oh,
whoa, what's this? No,
oh
no.
no. Ooh,
All right, we're
that
not going to
hurts.
get the new oh, whoa, but we are going to get a solid score from Bob Tawa. The decision 28. Oh, oh, blank. And he even sets up a whoa on the rack. with the blank W.
Oh my
Dave, what did you
gosh.
draw?
He's drawn four A's, and there's no fish word to be played here. There's two A's on the board, four with Dave here. We are running out of A's pretty quickly. Geez, for Bing right now, there's only three A's unseen. Is he gonna shove these back into the pool? Is he gonna play through this rack? This is awful. The KA spot has given him such a great place to play YEA or YAE. 32 points holding AAAI.
Yeah, but you got to play it. That's
Oh
too
my
many points.
god. Oh
Got
my
to play it.
god.
Then Bob into OO blank picks up DRS. Dave is just like having everything terrible happen to him. He bingos on the first turn and then is sad for the next 12. And that's happened like 3 games in a row now on stream.
Oh my gosh. I think Bob Lynn's gonna be able to come back with a double double. KO is a word. So he's gonna be able to do like four does or rodeos. And
Man.
rodeos is a baby bingo. So he's definitely gonna find that. Oh my gosh. And what
Uh,
do I mean by baby bingos? Like these are bingos that you come across very frequently. These are the first words that you learn when you're learning words for Scrabble. The 7, 8 letter words are usually studied by probability. And if you study these by probability order, you're going to find that rodeos is one of the ones that's up there.
yeah. I mean, Bob, when you said Bob has a double double, I'm like, oh, cool, through the E. And then I'm like, oh, no, underneath YAE. Okay. If 4 does 94 points underneath. It's 84 or 82 if played through the E, but the stack underneath Bob on on the clock now. He'll take his time. He'll go through, solve some of the solutions here, and he's just going to keep solving until he finds one that fits. There are two
Absolutely.
solutions for him here. He's going to get it.
Absolutely. Have all the faith. Especially when you look at a board like this and with tiles as flexible as yours, you're kind of looking at the board and seeing what does the board allow me to do. So in this case, you're thinking, where am I going to score the most? So scoring to a triple word score that triples your the point of the points of your word by like 3 times, right? But a double double, that's 4 times, and that's available to you now. So he needs to remember that K, he doesn't need to put an S there. He can put an O. KO is a word, and that is what's going to take Bob Lynn to his 94 points, his 90-point plays here.
There he goes. Set
There we
it
go.
up,
There we go.
rodeos. But let's see. Once you find, oh, he's still shuffling. Once you find one underlap, does he take the time to try to find one that doesn't put the blank there? Rodeos is 93. 4 does is 94. I'd just be so stoked to find a double. I'd smack it down as fast as I could, but I'm also impatient. Oh, Dave got bailed out. He only found a B, but he's got aerobia through that R. Okay.
Interesting.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh,
He set up rodeos, but I think maybe he didn't notice the triple overlap, and instead he's putting down doomers. It looks like Doomers. See that blank designation?
Doomers, right. Okay.
Oh, both blanks are
Because it
M's.
doesn't, yeah, because it doesn't hit the other double letter. That's sad. I would like to see the double double come down. This is 78 points. There are words that score like 82, like you mentioned, 4 does to the E of Mullard. That would have been nice too. But a bingo is a bingo, and it is on the board, and that is what matters here.
A bingo's a bingo, and it's on the board. Yep. And I think Dave's next play going to be on the board just so quickly. You got 6 vowels and a B. You either reject or you play aerobia. Um, uh, Maybe Dave's going to think for just a second about OBA and DA in that newly exposed spot, but
Ooh.
AAE as a leave is not great. Aerobia is coming down. Dave's not going to spend much more time on this turn.
I hope to see him play Aerobia as well. It's just so interesting that there's so few A's left now. And I wonder how that's going to develop in this game. Like, is there a chance that, we're going to see our players mobilize that knowledge eventually? Aerobia for 17, good play. I think that had to be played here.
Yeah. Dave forced to play this, and Bob's going to have a challenging turn. An interesting post bingo draw for him. CD HNOOU. Standout option according to the engine by a couple points. CHOU beneath the D in Doomers, picking DO and OU. That CH is a synergistic
Oh,
combination.
and Dave is happy as you can be. But sorry, continue with Boblin.
Oh, yeah, Creasier, is that what he's drawing? Yeah. CH is a good combination. You kind of want to hold those together, but I think in this case, you got to use them to score some points. Bob has identified an even higher scoring play, CHOON, in the same spot, scores 34, but it holds DU. CHOU is just 26, but DNO is a lot more flexible as a leave. I especially don't like this play of Chun because while Nits is saying there's few A's unseen, there's a ton of I's unseen, and DUII is a recipe for trouble.
Oh boy.
So we'll see. Chun is a good play, but I think CHOU, despite its lower score, is a slightly stronger one. Bob's going to take the points. Bob's going to need to not draw two or three I's on this next poll, and this will pay off.
Absolutely. I think he's feeling maybe like if he just keeps the scoring pressure on right now, he can be home happy. If you get that lead earlier in the game, it does put you in a much better spot. You're a lot safer. You feel a lot happier going into the rest of the game. You feel like you're fighting a little less, because you don't have to like pull yourself up from the bootstraps. You know, you're kind of already in a point of a advantage. So I think we're gonna see Dave come down with Escalier. I think that's how that's pronounced. Is that French?
Escaliers, I
Escalier,
guess.
maybe a
No,
staircase.
it's a staircase. I don't know.
I'm
Probably
so sorry
French.
for French speakers in the chat for the pronunciations that I am, you know, um, that I am attempting right now. But yeah, it would be great to see that come down. Um, it is 70 points and it does take an S. The thing is that in Escalier, if that is how you pronounce it, if that is played through the second L of Mullard, which is 70 points, what that would do is it would set up an S spot. There are two S's unseen to Dr. Bing, and his opponent just drew 5 tiles, but he himself is going to draw 7 tiles out of the bag.
Yeah, Escalier does end one short of that double word. That's scary. You'd hate to get punched with like zigs or zits or just some no-brainer play. If I'm Dave Wiegand and I'm trailing, the big thing is I want to make Bob think as hard as I can about the rest of his moves. I don't want to give him those no-brainers, but the other bingos score less. Causerie is just 2 points less, but that has even more warts than Escalier does. So I think you've just got to hold your nose and take the 70 points. Dave coming to the same conclusion, right as I do. Here it comes 70 for Dave. He pulls ahead. We got the score a little bit wrong, but with the 5 points on the first turn, Dave now leads 201 to 190. DEFMOTU on Bob's rack. What do you see in here, Nits?
What I'm seeing a yet another close game for Dave Wiegand, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. He's an incredible player, but these games have been so neck and neck for him. I think for now, Bob Linn, he's shuffling his tiles. He's going through what he's got. He knows he has to get rid of the U. He knows he doesn't want maybe that F, maybe that O. I'd probably try to find a place on this board where I can continue scoring. Maybe what I need to do is play off a bunch of tiles and hope to hit the S, right? Like maybe what I need to do is play off a bunch of tiles, hope to hit that S for the Escalier, or maybe I need like maybe I'm thinking play muted under tune, like HMOU making dot one, something like that, maybe muted over there. That is 34 points. It gets rid of that U. But here, I think Bob is. I think Bob's doing something really incredible here. He's choosing to try and obstruct that S spot as much as possible while still giving himself an E to play through should the need develop. That's really interesting. I mean, I'm I like this. I like this idea. What are you thinking about this, Matt?
I'm just going to look at Dave's turn. AEFINSY. Dave's turn is so complicated right now. You can cash that S. Yams plays for 48 points, but you can also shell it for a bingo FY in that spot that remained beneath June because Bob chose not to play there. Keeps AEINS with a bunch of great floaters and a wide open board. That's 33 with a great leave. Or he split the difference. Edify through the D and Fumed is 40. Holds the S for you to hit the Escalier spot next turn if you don't draw a bingo and keeps you in bingo range. There are three really good options here for Dave.
Nice.
Fish for 33, score 40 and save the S, or cash it all now for 48. I love watching players in racks like this. What is Dave going to do?
Well, for one thing, I don't think you should play any vowels at all. Like, look at that ratio, 14 vowels and 30 consonants. That is incredible. Dave is in a fantastic spot. He's got as many vowels as he needs. He's got the good ones. They are synergistic. He could just play off FY for 33. It's not even like a baby fish. He's playing OF, DOY. That's He's got the S if he needs to hook that for later. And FY is going to give him 33 points, keep AEINS in a pool that is so clearly going to draw him some consonants next time. And as I say this, I know for a fact that I have jinxed him. I apologize in advance. I'm so sorry, but this is what's going to happen.
I'm just trying to figure out if Dave is going to draw II or IU because of what you said, but it's probably II. Look at that unseen pool. If he plays FY, I don't know that he will. You're right though. Like fishing into AEINS is volatile. If you draw vowels and miss, you're so sad, and you're scoring 12 playing AI. But you're going to hit often in this pool. 14 vowels, 30 consonants. Fishing feels great. Dave's got to feel the same way. But I'm looking at all those I's. If I draw even one I, AEIINS, I can see isotine, I can say asinine in there, but there's not a whole lot. I'm really scared of these eyes if I'm Dave Wiegand.
That's
FY gives me some
fair.
pause. Edify might be the way to go forward here.
I mean, he is identifying it. He is, I mean, maybe he's thinking, so I'm currently 18 points behind. Once I do edify, it'll be 40 points. But the thing is that no matter what opening that Wiegand chooses to create for himself, not that he needs this opening, not that he needs the O column, Bob Linn gets the first crack at it. Like whatever Dave tries to do on this board to benefit himself right now, that's not, say, for example, setting up an S, it's going to benefit Bob Linn first. He's going to be able to take the crack at it first. So I really hope that Edify actually does not go down. It is 40 points. It is a really good play. But FY, I think, is just strategically so much better. I hope he's recognized that ratio in the pool.
Strategically, I do think this is the correct move. Dave does not have the insider knowledge that Nits just cast the commentator hex on him and he's about to draw IU out of this bag. But if he did, outside of that, BZ. All right. My goodness. I will. Okay.
Wow.
We lifted the curse by acknowledging that the curse exists. First rule of Fight Club is don't talk about Fight Club. So that's on us. We overplayed it.
That's
Um,
on us. Absolutely. So sorry, you guys.
AEGIOTW on Bob's rack. 15-point deficit. You want to play the vowels owie, OWIE above fumed, gives back mammoth counters if Dave has the
Oh my
right
God.
rack, but it is a great way out of the rack. What do you think, Nits?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm so concerned about the vowel consonant ratio. So here's the thing. So Weekend has just played two consonants. It's a little fishy as well. I'm wondering maybe if I have identified that there's so few vowels left in the bag, maybe I don't want to play off multiple vowels. Maybe I want to hang on to maybe my E. Maybe I don't want to hang on to the I. Definitely want to hang on to the EA though. EAT if I can manage it. Here I'm thinking I'd love to play Wig. Like here, I think Cage is a mistake because I think that there's only two E's unseen to him, two A's unseen to him. He's gonna want these vowels later. I think something like Wig on top of Fumed would have been slightly better here.
Yeah, and this is one of those instances where you make a small mistake and the tile guard's going to punish you hard. Bob, I knew he was going to draw another eye. There were just so many eyes. He chose not to play an eye, and now he's got two eyes, and he's going to draw a bunch more eyes. He's going to be in trouble this game. But a small little misplay can really start to spiral. And because Bob didn't play on top of Fumed, Dave has Nazi for 50. I think
Wow.
this is going to start to snowball in Dave's direction, barring a big draw from Bob or a terrible draw from Dave.
Oh my gosh. I wonder what Dave is gonna do here. I mean, I feel like it's kind of like I feel like it's a bit of a 50-50 between Biz to the E, the first E of Escalier, and Nazi for 50, right? Like, because with Biz, you still have a chance to bingo next time. You're keeping AENS. When you do Nazi, you're keeping BES. B is not the greatest bingo tile. So I think Bing has to kind of evaluate the pros and cons of his leave here. And I think I'd be fine with whichever he decides to play. I think Nazi, Biz, both of them are really good plays.
Yeah, you love to have the embarrassment of riches, and the Z, especially in CSW play, gives you so many plays so often, but you want to optimize. You can't just play Nazi as soon as you see it. You really want to think it through, get every point out of here. Biz makes sense. We saw Dave leave points on the table last turn in order to keep a more bingo prone leave. Will he do it again?
Here's the other thing. So if Dave Wiegand has seen Cage come down, Cage, does he think that Bob Lynn has the other A? and the other E. Does he think that Bob is at least keeping another E for having played his off? I mean, he's definitely keeping at least one vowel, right? Like if he plays KH, he's at least keeping one vowel at this point, I feel. So does that inform his decision for how many vowels he plays off at this point? The game with the vowel consonant ratio, it's so uneven. I think that kind of changes the dynamics of the games beyond equity, beyond just am I going to bingo now? It's also about what am I going to do at the end of the game when I'm stuck with all these consonants. One thing that Josh Sokol, for example, has said in on his Twitch stream before is when he's ahead, he chooses to keep at least one vowel on his rack just in case so that he's never really stuck. But right now, neither of them seem to be ahead. They're neck and neck. They just keep catching up to each other. I mean, obviously, in terms of points, Bob Linn is, 6 points ahead, but still, it's so, so, so close.
The most important thing Dave has to do here is play an I, and he knows that. There's so many of them in the bag, and as you said, one A, one E. You're going to draw more vowels this game, but they're all going to be I's. And so you want to make sure you keep the other vowels as much as possible. Um, Biz and Nazi both do that, though. This is a tough
Right.
turn for Dave, and one that we saw him lament just putting down an N instead of an E last game and thinking he blew the game because of it. You want to think about exactly what you're holding, especially as
Right.
the good tiles dry up in this pool.
Right. 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 I think now that I think about it, yes, Nazi is like so, so, so many points, and you don't want to give up on those points, but maybe Bez is the move here. I mean, because you're drawing so many eyes. If you play one fewer tile, maybe you have one fewer chance of drawing another eye. You have the S that you want. It's not like there's a blank out that you need to fish for. I mean, there's so many T's. Hopefully you'll draw a T. Maybe you'll draw something interesting. Interesting that Biz comes down there. That's 38 points instead of the 39 from the E of Escalier. This is really interesting. Now we know that there's no two-letter word that ends in Z, so we know that Boblin is never going to be able to take advantage of this. So that's really, really interesting play to me.
It is interesting. I thought we'd see Nazi there, but AENS feels strong with the pool. Of course, right as I say that, Dave dodges all of the I's that would synergize well and draws NNS to go with the NS he kept. Nobody wants to draw the letters we think they're going to draw. Well, except Bob. He drew exactly what I thought he would. IITTNOW on Bob's rack. A lot of I's still in this bag, a lot of T's still in this bag. This is looking scary. There is a 5-letter word in CSW play, INWIT, INWIT. That plays beneath Aerobia. That is an option if he wants to try to get rid of all of this stuff. It takes 2 back hooks, both an H and an S. And given Dave spent a long time and then made what looks like a no-brainer play, I'm scared. I think Dave has good letters. I don't like that. I'd be looking to play smaller, but to do that, I'm going to have to take sacrifices and keep a bunch of eyes. What do you think, Nits?
I feel like it's kind of interesting what Dave's play kind of suggests as well, right? Like it's like when he plays Biz to the top right, he's blocking Escalier's play. So like there's no S that can go on there because there's no back hook to Biz, I think. So as far as I'm aware, like that spot has been blocked up for both Dave and Bob. So I mean, does it suggest that Dave doesn't have an S? Like I mean, WN
Oh my.
WEN going down is a really interesting find, but there's so many eyes on his rack right now. I
He's just taking as many points as he can, and he's going to pray that he leaves the 4 eyes in the bag. Does he do it? He got a U and an X. Yeah, he did. He left all the eyes in the bag and actually got tiles that score
That's
points.
incredible.
Nice.
I mean,
Just
the
play
more
your
that I
gut.
think
Play your
about
gut
it,
instinct.
you're right. Like, I mean, you do want to score as many points as you can. That's not a bad play at all. I mean, that was a really interesting find by Bob. That's crazy.
If you don't draw any I's or T's, that's the best play. If you draw any I's or T's, it's your worst play. But
And
Bob did not draw any I's or T's. That was his best play last turn.
he seems to have identified that there's a shortage of vowels that he wants. So it makes sense that he played just the two consonants. That was really, really insightful on Bob's part. I wasn't expecting that. Incredible. And I mean, Bing's got 3 ends on his rack. This is just not what he wanted to see.
No, that draw was horrific for him. AENS, it did feel a little bit greedy to leave the points on the table, and now the psychology starts to get into Dave's head of, I passed Nazi because I figured I'd bingo this turn, and instead, oh no, this is really bad. But if he does just play off EN like anywhere, there's infinite I's and T's, like he's going to draw Satine eventually, or Tyson or something. So fishing still feels okay. There aren't many bingo lines left on the board, but you're not rushing if you're Dave. If you get a bingo down, you're probably going to win this game. And looking at this unseen pool, it's almost impossible for Bob to do it. So just
Right.
make sure he doesn't get any 50 or 60 pointers with the unseen big stuff, the Q and the X. Make sure I get a bingo down eventually. I stay flexible enough and should coast to a victory here. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He can't put down EN. He needs to put down NN.
He needs to put down NN, maybe just ANN from the A of aerobia. You know, it's 4 points. It's like, it seems like it's not worth it. It feels like, how could I possibly play a move for 4 points? But you know what? Like, I kind of like it. Kind of like it.
I don't know.
You really
I
don't want those ends.
want to score a little bit more this turn if I can. But yeah, there's no way for Dave to do that. ANN and AS on top of Doomers is 9, but then you're playing your A and you really don't want to do that. Like
Right.
ANN for 4 actually seems all right. Oh,
My
that's
God,
crazy.
isn't that insane? Like, that's where you're scoring the most points with just NN. Good God. But I mean, you really don't want this on your rack. And I think he really needs to hold on to that A. I I think it's defensible to play ANN for 9 points. Like, I mean, I guess I can understand why he'd do that. Oh, wow. Okay. Just one N for 5 points.
I think I like this approach though. If you play the two ends, you draw more stuff. If you play one, Bob is going to be terrified right now. And I think this hits a good amount of the time anyway. Bob has to be scared after Dave Wiegand plunks one tile for 5. We know Dave's not as close as it seems, but all right, Bob's going to play OX. He's going to play it down here. Bob actually has Whis TT playable, right?
Oh
Oh
my
no, no,
God.
not quite. He's got
Oh my
one
gosh.
eye short. One eye short. No, he's got it. Oos TT through the S. You shouldn't play it, but he has it.
I would have really liked him to play XI under Escalier instead, because there's so many eyes to be drawn that O is not a threat to him right now. Um, so OX, good find on his end. Like, maybe he's thinking, okay, I don't want that's, I mean, yeah, yeah. Sometimes you see a 33-point play and you just make it. That's just the way that goes.
I mean, after Dave Wiegand fishes one tile and you see an E floating in space,
You kind of want to
it
block
feels
that, right?
very instinctive to just block it. But I think
Yeah.
that's the big brain psychology of Dave. If I
Yeah.
play one instead of two, I'm going to make you freak out and pass your best play to block something for no reason.
Exactly. That's
And it
what I
worked.
figured. And then I was like, wait, actually, he's behind. Does he want to block? But then he does want to block because Bing has been fishy. And yeah, it seems like David Wiegand might have a tell for when he's been fishing. And the tell, my friends, is that you play few tiles.
Yes, the inferences you can make are infinite when Dave plays futile. It means he's probably going to bingo or he's going to miss his fish. One of the two. ADEN SS on another N
Oh
on
my
Dave's
God.
rack. I wonder if we just see KOs and tunes just plunk the one tile. I don't know how often ADENNS is going to hit anything in Collins. Let me check that.
I don't know, but
Oh,
like, this game is kind of, I mean, there's 31 unseen tiles for David Weekend right now. There are two V's unseen, there's a Q unseen, there's like a million eyes unseen to him. This is a really gross board to play on. These are gross. I mean, like, I feel so bad for them right now. Like, this, some boards are so beautiful to play on and they're so fun and creative, and like, they just kind of bloom like flowers, and then there's like boards like these and you're like, okay, dropping one tile at a time and one tile at a time, and it's like, what do you do? What do you do?
what do you do? This is, I mean, if you're Dave now, suddenly you're down 20 and points matter a little bit. So you don't want to score nothing. You don't want to play ANN for 4 like last turn. I mean, it's a different situation, obviously, but 23 is pretty nice. Quackles shows that badness from the B and aerobia is available. But yeah, just fish another in. And I like the extra layer of psychology here. If you fish another in, it makes it look like I fished an in, I drew an in, I fished an in again. But actually, Dave's rack has gotten way better. and he's going to hit this second in fish a lot more often than the first one.
Incredible. Oh my God.
All right. In a bit of a time crunch, Bob is going to make this. Or he's not in a time crunch at all. Actually, Dave's in the time crunch, but Bob is going to make this play fast. MUTI holding ITT. He's working his way out of this jam. Still so many eyes to draw on that bag. Will he get him this time? We'll find out. And Dave Sandy's on his rack. That does not play, but
Sedanes does.
Sandy's is not a word, but Sedanes, Sdaines, and Doyes plays now at the
Yeah.
bottom for 70. He has a second bingo available. Sidesman through the blank M at the top of the board is 59.
Oh, you
So
know
it's
he's gonna do that, right?
not an instant slam dunk. I mean, 11 points is 11 points. He's going to slow down and think. But I think when you look at this unseen pool, Sedanes gives back QI for 44 on
Yeah.
top.
Or
Or
QIN even.
but you don't have Bob. Bob definitely did not have the Q last turn. You don't play MUTI and hold the Q.
He's going for the points.
So yeah, this
You.
is right. You take the points. You're going to get hit by QI in this instance, but you can't expect him to have it, and you like setting it up for yourself. All right, bingo for Dave. He pulls
Wow.
ahead.
I mean, you got to take that chance, right?
Yes.
So QIN is going to come down for 49, and this is going to be the game continues to be neck and neck. Despite all of this, Wiegand is going to be, I believe, 11 points behind going into his turn after QIN comes
Big
down.
draw for Dave. HTU. He's looking to dodge the V's. Looking to dodge the V's, and there's one, but
There's
he dodged
one.
the other one. HIPRTUV is not the worst draw he could have had in a bad pool. In fact,
He still has
he's-
a moment to triumph in this game.
yes, I think we may see Dave emerge triumphant despite the Q bomb from Bob. Bob leads by 11, 364 to 353, but I don't know, is Dave going to thump Bob here, or is he going to triumph in this game? He's going
Or
to do
he
one
might
of those.
just go ahead and trump him, you know? I think thumping might do more for his victory here, but perhaps he wants those extra 4 points. Perhaps he really needs those extra 4 points in a board that is as tough as this one is. So he does go with thump instead of triumph.
Ooh, I think triumph is better.
I do feel like triumph is
Triumph is better.
slightly better. You do need every point that you can squeeze out of this board, but perhaps maybe he's got some, genius, miraculous plan that, we
Triumph
can't
is way
see.
better. Triumph is way better. I don't think he saw it. Oh, okay. Yikes. Yikes. That's an uncharacteristic mistake. That's going to cost him like 20 win percentage in this game. That's huge.
Maybe
That's
it's
huge.
like a
Look what
time
he drew,
thing,
too. Oh,
you
my
know?
goodness. Dave's going to lose. He's not going to triumph. He tried to thump Bob, but Bob's going to thump him back.
Oh boy. Oh man. This is
Oh,
tough.
when you can triumph, you should. Don't just thump your opponent. Go all the way and triumph.
You think that he just didn't see it?
I think he just didn't see it.
Maybe
he just didn't see
maybe
it.
he just
Triumph is
played
better.
too fast.
Pacing wise, it's better. I think he just didn't see it.
That's tough.
I don't
That's
know that
tough.
this game's done. Bob is going to have to spot int at the bottom, and if Josh Castellano can miss int, then anybody can miss int.
Well,
still in an end
maybe
game.
maybe he doesn't play int, like maybe so let's see. Okay. What is Wiegand going to do if he does have the last T, right? Like, I mean, he doesn't have a QIS, QIN. What would he do?
All right, if I'm in this
So,
situation, I'm
right,
looking.
like,
I see the two unseen V's, and I'm like, ooh, I could be really mean to you right now if you have both of them on your rack. I know
So-
your rack is not good. Do I block Vav through the A anaerobia? That's petty, but that's also awesome. I don't know.
I think he can get so many points for playing Hulp, HOLP, Hulp for 26 from the H in thump that maybe he doesn't even have to play tail for 26. I mean, maybe he recognizes that it's not a threat because he keeps that E for later, and EE is a word. But is David Wiegand going to be able to take any advantage of that INT spot? I mean, there's ING, that's a word, but what does he do after? So like,
Yeah, there's nothing
there's
really.
nothing
Even with
that's
5 in the bag, there's nothing from Bob's point of view that Dave can have that's a huge
right.
threat on the bottom. I don't think there's any
I
possible
don't think he's
bingo. Let me
anything
check.
for NE under that.
Even with if Dave has all of these tiles on his rack, every single one of the 12 unseen, the most he could possibly score is 32, and there's only one play that does that. Yeah, and otherwise,
Yeah.
God, yeah, those letters just don't play on this board.
So I don't think he has to address that triple spot at all right now. I think you could just go with Hope and keep E for later, keep that T for later. You know that I ends, and if he draws into a G, maybe that will help him. Um,
I don't think you play Hulp here, though. I don't. You don't want to hold a bunch of one pointers. I don't think. I
but
think you want to have the P for scoring power.
I mean, if you do want that scoring power, it would make sense to. I mean, where do you go with it, right? Like you need that T,
Oh,
or
the
you
T
need.
is your scoring power. You have int. So
Yeah,
yeah, play
exactly.
play
Okay,
Hulp
so
and
you
save Tet, or
right
play
or like
Tet and save Hulp. Either way is
yeah,
fine.
exactly, exactly. That's my thought.
I guess when you're making that decision, you want to figure out which leave EITT or ILOP is going to synergize well in the nightmare scenario. If I draw these V's, if I draw these G's, which is going to give me more flexibility? I don't see a lot of flexibility out of EITT. I don't see a lot of flexibility out of ILOP.
Let's see. Maybe if he draws into a G, he can do GEIT, Geit, and Ing, and that's gonna get him a few points.
If you play Hulp and draw a G, you threaten
Yeah,
a big play. That seems like a good line
that
here.
could be worth it because
But
he knows that that spot is like that. Dave's never gonna be able to hit that because Dave doesn't have any underlapping tiles for NE. That's a great position to be in. That's just incredible. So he's identified POI, poi. That is going to score 22 points, making TO and HI of thump. Um, or he might play opt, making OP from the thump. I hope he doesn't do that. I hope he recognizes. But you know, it does save teal for later. It does save it for later, and he has recognized that that's a play that he has.
all right, opt the play from Bob. Going to leave 2 tiles in the bag. Dave has about the worst possible set of letters he could have possibly drawn from that bag.
Oh boy.
GRRITTV with 2 tiles in the bag. I don't know that Dave can do anything except play Vav through the A and Aerobia. He will take his time, slow down, and think things through. But my first gut says these V's are just so horrific on this board. I got them both at the same time. I'd be looking to see if I can play Vav or Var or something and draw a 6 tile play that starts with a T to play ST and extend out to that triple. But this is so bleak for Dave. There's just no way. Just play Vav and hope that Bob makes a terrible mistake, or find a different way to make Bob make a terrible mistake. This one feels hard for Bob to lose, though, and hard for Dave to do anything creative at all. Quackle says GIRT playing Neg and SI looks to win this game the most often. That holds VVR. Maybe that works in whatever universe Quackle hallucinates, but I feel like just if you ever hold VV,
Oh,
Bob gets blocked immediately.
hmm.
If you do that and you draw an A, then you threaten Vovs to the S in Doomers and Vov through the A in Aerobia. It's hard for
Interesting.
both of those to get blocked. So maybe there's a path, but I think Vov first. I don't know. Dave's just dead.
Interesting. This I do not understand. What a tough,
Can't
tough
believe
place to be in.
Dave is about to go 0-3 in his last 3 stream games, despite like probably making 0 mistakes and his opponents accumulating to make at least 13 or 15. That's
Well,
Scrabble, baby.
isn't that incredible to see though? Like you can play the most perfect game and you cannot control the tiles. You cannot control what your opponent will do to the board. You cannot control, despite perfect play, if you win the game or not.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, penancy and not challenging that may or may not have been a mistake. I spoke to Dave after
Well,
the
I
game, and
mean,
he said he was like 95, 98% sure it wasn't good, and if he was 100%, maybe he would have.
with
But
I mean with Collins, even if you're 90%, unsure if it's a word, I feel like you challenge, right? Because it's just a 5 point challenge. I mean, in this case, I feel like it was a smart decision not to give back a blank to Josh Castellano. But sorry, I mean we're in this game right now, and I hate to take us away. That's a discussion that many of us will love to talk more about. I think if Will does us a favor of making a video about it, then we can definitely talk it out in his in the comments channel there. That'd be awesome. Dave Wiegand, though, to get himself out of this mess, this is just So tough. Really goes to show. I mean, you can play your best game, and Lady Luck will just do whatever she wants. You just draw
I
the tiles that you do.
I opened my Lila Karate homemade fortune cookie before this game, and the fortune I got is so appropriate right now. It is games lubricate the body and the mind. It's a quote from
Ooh.
Ben Franklin. And man, this morning we have had 4 games that really got the wheels turning. 4 good games of Scrabble from this incredible CSW field. We said this morning it's okay to have 1 or 2 that are kind of drubbing so we can say all the thank yous. No, we've had 4 great games. I just don't see any analysis I can offer. Dave's going to use all his time. There's just nothing to do here. He's sunk. I want to get the
So
thank yous out before lunch break, though. So quick thank you to Lindsay Shin, Austin Shin, Lila Crowdy, Kate Fukawa Connolly, Tim Fukawa Connolly, and the whole CCC team for putting this together, and especially to Christian and Andrew doing all the work on the ground, running this stream. Nits and I get all the FaceTime, but we don't deserve it. It's really Christian and Andrew who do all the work here. Major hats off to those guys.
thank you all for being here. Thank you everyone for making this happen. I love this tournament so much. And I think one of the reasons why Gert might be also another good play is because it's blocking ING and Geit. I think that might be part of the consideration that you don't want your opponent to score so well over there. That's the one spot that Dave can reasonably assume that Bob's gonna be able to score at. Oh, this is so tough.
Dave is going to be thinking about Biz versus Nazi over lunch. Dave is going to be thinking about Dan versus they over lunch. Dave is going to have a lot of demons haunting him after these tough few games. And yeah, I'm very curious why Nazi wasn't played. I'm sure he's going to talk about it after the game, unless Bob's one of those guys who um, doesn't post mortem. All
Oh,
right, here we go. We got to play Virtue.
interesting. Maybe he's seen. Maybe he's thinking if he gets the E, or is there a place for him to do Grov? I mean, interesting. Maybe if he draws an I, he can have Virgo somewhere. Anyway, I'm not sure. And Guide is going to come down for a massive 32 points. I like this game has just been incredible. So many things going here and there. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, just 3 winning plays there for Bob, and this one wins by the most. He identified that option immediately, and even with 8 minutes on his time, he's got the confidence to play it. Bob pulls ahead 415 to 399, and Dave all but sunk in this one. He can play off the VG combo that he's just drawn with RAVS, but then it's going to be just a little too little and too late as Bob's going to play out and win.
Oh, man. Man.
Wow.
Really tough. Really tough game.
Very seldom see Dave Wiegand lose 3 straight games on the stream, and he's played very good Scrabble, but just a couple key turns, a couple what ifs, and what could be 2-1 or 3-0. Dave is 0-3.
And he has now gone over time. So for each increment of a minute that he goes over, he receives a 10-point penalty. He's currently at 389 after this penalty. So I hope that he's able to play his move relatively quickly. I would like him to see, Ravs or Grav or Labs or Vags, something like that, just so that it comes down on the board and gets off of his rack.
Yeah, I would just spend this time being big sad and then thinking about which people I can actually tolerate at lunch after 3 really hard luck losses. But yeah, take the time penalty. Might as well use all 60 of those seconds since you've earned them the hard way.
Oh boy. Really tough to be in this position. He has 6 seconds. Oh my God. Is he gonna?
Like Vagel.
Oh wow. 2 seconds to go. 2 seconds to go before he would have had another 10-point penalty.
Bob's going to play Lair. All right.
All right. And that's game over, folks. Wow.
Wow. 421 for Bob, 409 for Dave's the final. And we are going to cut to overhead mic now.
399. Yeah. just happen to have that order here.
No, I could have dropped a G for ing.
I had something else. I had GIE or I had, those two B's were going to kill somebody. That's why I played 3 letters here. Instead of playing TEIL, I played 3 letters, trying to get not get a D. We have to put the thing in.
All right, well, we'll let Bob put the thing in real quick. As Dave sits there in stunned silence, Dave drops to 7-5 through 12 games at the Crescent City Cup. There are still 8 games to be played, but we are cutting away to the lunch break after this one. This afternoon, we're bringing you 4 games. All 4 will be from the WoW division, or that's NWL's WIPO equivalent for those less savvy. WoW division coming this afternoon. Tomorrow morning, we're going to bring you the most drama, is my understanding. We're willing to be a little bit flexible, but we're going to wind down coverage for right now. Nits and I are starving. Nits, what do you got going on for lunch?
I'm thinking Mexican. How about you?
I might be thinking Mexican now. I don't know.
Love me some beans, my guys.
Yeah, well, Mexican in Louisiana when you're from Texas. I've had some great Mexican food
okay.
here. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll all figure it out. You at home, you figure it out too. Grab some lunch, grab some dinner, grab some coffee, whatever you need, and join us. I think play is going to start again at 2:45 Central Time. It might be 3 p.m. Somebody smarter than me will tell you in the chat in just a minute. But winding down for now, the whole Crescent City team, Matt Canik, Nits, Chagti, we'll see you all this afternoon for more Scrabble. Adios.